Hello, welcome back to the African Union Profile. My name is SHEIKH DRAMMEH. I am your host. African Union Profile is a program where we bring to our audience, the African diplomats, African politicians, African experts to discuss about how we can collectively work on self-empowerment and to help the African Union, to help strengthen the African Union. For the past several months, we've talked about a lot of issues concerning, Africa and Africans all over the world. And one of the topics actually happened to be Pan-Africanism, or the new Pan-Africanism, or the resurgence of Pan-Africanism. And I have not brought to this program anybody more Pan-Africanist than my guest today. And today we will be talking about, Africa and the issues concerning African continent and the actions actually that need to be taken by the Africans all over the world for collective self-empowerment. And one organization in particular is AFRIQUE organization, which you will learn a lot about in the next hour. The founder of AFRIQUE organization actually is our guest. But before we go to AFRIQUE organization, I just want to update our viewing audiences about what is happening in Africa lately. And as you know, the African Union will inaugurate its new African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful compound, brand new. I believe it is one of the tallest, if not the tallest building actually in Addis Ababa. It is donated by the Chinese government, and the president of China will be in Addis Ababa on January 28th to inaugurate the building, which costs a little bit over $200 million. Everything was donated by the Chinese government. So some Africans will say thank you to Chinese government, but other Africans will say, how much it will cost us at the end, because China now, is part of Africa, and the Chinese citizens are all over Africa, and there are pros and cons to their existence on the continent of Africa. But whatever the case is, we will be celebrating a new headquarters in Addis Ababa. And prior to that, even Gaddafi wanted to move the African Union headquarters to Libya, actually to the town where Gaddafi was born, Sirte. But the African leaders did not trust that, and they didn't allow it. And in the end, the president of Ethiopia, sought help from the outsiders, and the president of China was willing to come and donate the money. So the celebration, we will talk more about the opening, and perhaps maybe we'll bring some pictures to you next time. And then Nigeria, unfortunately, we are now encountering some of the most difficult challenges in the Africa's most populous country, Nigeria, a country with almost 160 million residents, almost 50-50 between Muslims and Christians. And now they are, going through some of the challenges that is nothing new, but we thought that it will never happen again. So a few days ago, about 160 to 250 Nigerians lost their lives through senseless killing. Unfortunately, some call it a religious, some political, some, social. But whatever the case is, Africa should be a place where nothing should divide the Africans. No religion, no culture, nothing. Because we are Africans first before anything else. So therefore, regardless of religious backgrounds and orientation, we are Africans first and foremost. And Somalia, nothing new. Unfortunately, one of the tiniest places in Africa, yet one of the most challenging places where life can never be normal for the past almost 20 years, because it is a place without central government. and there are a lot of outside influence, especially with the religious, indoctrination of, death and destruction. So we pray for Somalians and Sudan. Sudan also is a troubled spot, unfortunately. Beautiful country with a lot of attributes that should make a country worthy of living. But, recently between the New Sudan and the old Sudan or the Northern Sudan, there have been some, skirmishes, and, people are losing their lives. And I also think the South Sudanese are trying to prevent Northern Sudan to use the oil to continue to oppress them since they have their own independence. And we're going to end with the African soccer now, because right now the African continent is playing its African soccer tournament. Even though I'm not very well versed in what is going on, but I know that the entire continent is now is jubilant with their teams and the fans and the supporters, because soccer is a very, very followed sport in Africa, as it is followed in Europe and Latin America. So with that, we'll give you more information about the opening of the African Union headquarters when we come back next week. But now, I'm going to turn to our guest, a Pan-Africanist, a true Pan-Africanist, to his core, a guy who wants nothing more than the unification and empowerment and prosperity of Africa and Africans. The guy who live and breathe and actually talk about, being African and being empowered and being proud. And this guest is Akwasi Appiah, the founder and CEO of Care Afrique. Welcome to our show.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. Thank you very much for the honor bestowed upon me.
Okay, great.
I think we all share in this ideology, and it's left for us now to take it to the next step, to
Absolutely.
take action on it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think you are a good champion for promoting that. But anyway, so today we're here to talk about Care Afrique.
Yes.
You see, there are thousands of organizations
Yes.
that are founded by Africans or non-Africans, but dedicated to the upliftment of the Africans.
Yes.
And some are doing well, while others are not doing well.
Yes.
Some are raising funds to actually do what they said they would do.
Yes.
Others, according to some reports, were founded outside of the continent in the name of the continent and the name of the cause, but sometimes their headquarters are either in London or in Paris, yes. Belgium, or in New York.
Yes.
So what is Care Afrique?
Well, Care Afrique is an NGO, a non-governmental organization, charitable organization, set up for the primary mission, if I may say, for the economic, educational, health development, and empowerment of Africa, particularly Ghana and West Africa. This is a broad topic, as you might notice. However, it could be broken down into simple terms. What do we mean by what we are saying? All we are saying in a nutshell is sustainable development, sustainable growth. As you just mentioned, yes, there are several organizations that are doing well, set up in there are several organizations that aren't doing that well. There are several organizations that were set up in the name of Africa, but probably were not doing the job that they're required to do. And there are others who are actually doing it. But if we take a broad look at, what I observed is, if we take a broad look at what's going on, most of these organizations, unfortunately, are focusing on the short-term solutions. Feed the person today and then tomorrow they come back and beg for more food, which is not sustainable. How long can you continue to give a handout? And we all know that the Western countries that who usually give these handouts are also in economic turmoil now. So now I want to shift the focus, I want to make the standard as for sustainability. Because if they teach the man how to fish, this is a basic premise which is fundamental in all religions across the world. Teach the man how to fish instead of giving him a fish. If you teach a man how to fish, in a way you empower him not only to feed himself for today, but to also feed himself for a lifetime. And he could actually transfer this skill to his family, which means you are educating not only a single individual, but an entire community, if you might say. Which should be the new standard that AFRIQUE is proposing for all organizations to take up the challenge.
And AFRIQUE, is it a non-for-profit organization or is it for-profit organization?
AFRIQUE is a non-profit organization.
Okay.
However, taking into consideration the scope of what we are trying to do, and the kind of capital-intensive projects that we're trying to focus on, which will be mainly infrastructural development. We will be seeking a lot of money, and we will be using a lot of money. And whatever gets left behind, I'm sure will be able to go forward, will be utilized, if not presently, but in the near future, for other projects to benefit the African people, we African people.
Since it is a non-for-profit, is it a registered 501c3?
AFRIQUE organization is was born in the United States, you know, and it is a 501c organization. Okay. It was born in the Bronx of 2008, June 11th, 2008. Okay. And we are also registered in Ghana, which is also an African country in West Africa. And we seek to be registered in every single African country in the near future.
Okay. All right. So, as I said earlier, there are thousands of organizations. Yes. What promoted you to set, you know, AFRIQUE organization? Well,
if we, this stemmed out of a long history of Africa, a long, I'll say, experience, and also my personal involvement as well during my short term in life here that we are blessed by God to be. Africa, if I may say, we have been in a lot of turmoil, most of it caused by not only we Africans ourselves, but also by the Western world. And when all this was said and done, if it actually is, what happened was we Africans were left in a very deplorable state. And as we speak today, we still have, this is 2012, January of 2012. And we still have people walking miles to go fetch dirty water, come prepare the dirty water before they can even use the dirty water. Now, I guess recently found out that the United Nations has been giving a lot of aid to Africa to the tunes of probably now in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And we still have people walking miles to go fetch dirty water, come prepare the dirty water, and before they can use the dirty water. And Africa sits on 43% of the entire world's water resources.